Top 10 Places to Visit Antigua and Barbuda. For more than 250 years, ships of all shapes and sizes have been drifting into the waters of Nelson's Dockyard, from the old cannon-topped frigates of the colonial British forces in the 1700s to the sparkling white yachts that billow down from Freeman's Bay today. The undisputed historical gem of Antigua and Barbuda as a whole, the site is now a listed heritage attraction. Visitors can see the aged naval capstans lining the water's edge, see a huge anchor left over from the great English naval warships that came this way, and wander between the ruins of the old boathouse and sail loft. Stingray City does exactly what it says on the tin, offer a glimpse at pods of the great rays as they glide beneath the crystal-clear waters of the Caribbean Sea. Continually rated as one of the top things to do in Antigua, the spot can be found between the low-lying reefs just north out of Williki's town. Travelers start the day with introductory classes on how to handle the island's breed of southern ray, before heading out to the shallows and joining them for a snorkeling session. It's the perfect experience for anyone eager to get up close and personal with the region's curious marine life. Looming nearly 500 feet above the crashing waves of English Harbour is where visitors will find the ridges of iconic Shirley Heights, the island's most talked-about lookout point. Winding paths along the scrub-dressed hills outside of town are what take travelers here, and the humble entry fee is included in the price of tickets to Nelson's Dockyard. The views really are all they are cracked up to be too, with the deep blue of the Caribbean giving way to the rugged silhouette of Montserrat Mountain on Guadeloupe to the southwest, and the inland undulations of Antigua glowing in shades of emerald. Oh, and the famous green flash sunsets are another bonus. Founded way back in the 1650s, after the first English settlers discovered the fertile soils of Antigua were perfect for raising sugarcane crops, the historic plantation known as Betty's Hope now stands as a reminder of the long history of slave ownership on the islands. Today, the site has been restored to show some of the original windmills that were used to crush the crop and extract the juice, while other excavations have unearthed the on-site rum distillery and slave quarters. An on-site visitors center showcases a collection of original tools used in the production process too. Clambering out of the crashing rollers of the Atlantic, where the billowing trade winds meet the rugged east coast of Antigua, Devil's Bridge is a breathtaking and eye-opening geological wonder. Eroded by the continuous onslaught of the waves, it's famed for its craggy appearance and the way the swells break dramatically, erupting like geysers against the rocks and blowholes along Indiantown Point. The spot is also steeped in a haunting history, and locals, especially the older ones, know it as the place where escaped slaves would go to commit suicide. hidden away from the roads and towns of Antigua by a dash of green sand dunes and vine-dressed hills, Rendezvous Bay is certainly not the easiest beach on the island to get to. But therein lies its beauty. Almost always empty and secluded, the spot can only be reached after a 30-minute hike from the outskirts of Falmouth town. And boy is it worth it. Empty sands abut a sea of sky blue. Cacti loom on the hillsides and the salty breezes form the backing track. There are some tour operators who offer organized walks to Rendezvous Bay, perfect if you fancy a bit of company along the route. To the north end of aforementioned 17-mile beach is where travelers will find the Frigate Bird Sanctuary, a vast enclave of lush mangrove and mud swamps, brackish bayous and waterways that hosts perhaps the largest gathering of frigate birds in the world. That's right. This small area of land on Antigua and Barbuda is the prime spot for seeking out the curious red-throated flyers that bellow and bulge with their weird and wonderful mating displays during December and January. There are also pelicans and oodles of seabirds there, while the landscapes are gorgeous, marking the far end of the protected Codrington Lagoon National Park. Of the legendary 365, people say one for each day of the year, individual beaches on the islands of Antigua and Barbuda, this narrow strip of glowing, talcum powder sand that abuts the waters of Lignum Vitae Bay is perhaps the single most quintessential necessary viewing for any dedicated beach lover. The spot can be found just south out of Jolly Harbour. It's got a backing of rising dunes and black mangroves, and is framed by perfectly formed hills to the north and south. And for those who fall in love with Valley Church, there are cabanas and guest houses on offer just a stone's throw from the shore. Crowning the tops of the cliffs and rocks just west outside of St. John's, the historic bulwarks and crenulations of Fort Barrington were first raised by the British in the 1770s. Their job was to command the water channels running in and out of Deep Bay, to fend off pirate attacks and other colonial powers. Today, they lie in ruins, but offer a nonetheless haunting glimpse at the deep histories of these two isles. Travelers can get here easily from the sands of Deep Bay Beach or Yetton, and weave between the rusting cannons to gain sweeping views of the Montserrat volcano across the water. Jutting its way out into the waters where English Harbour gives way to Freeman's Bay, directly below the panoramic lookout points and barbecue eateries of Shirley Heights, this wall of sinewy cliffs is surely one of the most breathtaking rock formations in the Caribbean. They loom high above some popular snorkeling and sailing spots, looking chiseled and carved with their countless crevices and alcoves. The evening is one of the best times to come and gaze at them, when the sun casts a deep yellow glow over the stone before setting in the west.